Welcome to At the Bell with Derek Poppy Roland. Today's special guest is Willie Moses. Willie Moses, straight out of Newark, New Jersey. One of the top trainers in the world today. Thank you, Mr. Wali.
Thank you.
How you feeling, my brother?
All right, yourself?
I'm glad you came on to sit down with us.
My pleasure.
Glad you came to sit down with us and share your insight on some boxing and what's going on, man.
First, let me tell you this, man. Being here with you, man, you know, right now, it make me feel like I've come real full circle, you know, because my first year in boxing started with Newark PAL. And, you know, we started in January, and by the end of the year, the kids we were working with were in the championship. That was a great thing, but the only bad thing about that, they win a championship against guys like you had been fighting for years and years and years. But that really inspired me, you know, because I looked at it like it was a pleasure for our kids to be fighting for 1 year and to get to the point where they had the opportunity to fight against guys like you. So that really helped me in my career. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you recall, I might have been about 13, maybe 14 years old, man, when you gave me some encouraging words as a young teen. Man. I remember that.
Right.
You know, and seeing you now where you at, you know, having the trainer, the head trainer, and grandfather of one of the top fighters in the world today, man, Shakur Stevenson.
Right.
Real proud of me that you're still in the game this long since I was a kid, man. That says a lot.
Yeah, it's you know, I think it's a testament to the talent that we have here in New Jersey, like yourself and others like you, inspired to be like you guys and to follow your footsteps, you know. Those are the things that really give me the incentive, you know, to stay in the fight and to stay in the battle, you know, seeing what's going on in the streets every day. So to me, I feel like it's, you know, not something that I have to do, but I feel like it's an obligation, because I feel like if guys like you and us don't do it, then nobody will. So,
That's right. Where did you start from? How did you get your interest in boxing, man? Because I know not only were you coaching way back then, but you also had some history fighting out of Newark, New Jersey, right?
Well, I started, believe it or not, about 4 or 5 years old, man. My nephew, we were shooting tops. And a brother named Avery Johnson and Wayne Johnson, they were on their way to the gym, so they came out with their boxing gloves. So we said, oh, you know, can we see your boxing gloves? So they let me and him put on the boxing glove, and we proceeded to start punching each other. We called ourselves boxing, and then anything else was history. I fell in love with boxing then. By the time got 8 years old, I got into martial arts, you know, and the love for boxing and martial arts, you know, inspired me, you know, to become have a very adamant passion towards pugilism, so we call it, you know, and physical sports itself. So, you know, I trained around the country, fought, kickboxing, you know. Some of the only time back in the day, we were some of the only 5-round fighters back in the day. Nobody fought 5 rounds back then, but we were fighting 5 rounds. So, you know, that encouraged me. And about 1980 is when I met. Well, not met. I had known Shaheed Jackson. I became the president. Matter of fact, I was.
So Shaheed does at the fights, man. You're still looking good, man.
Right. I was president and founder of the first Bilalian student union in the nation. So, you know, Shaheed would come in and, you know, we would speak to the students and whatnot. So one day, you know, he and I was working in a liquor store. I was managing a store. And, he came in and he said, listen, man, I need some help with some boxing, you know, okay. So at the same time, my trainer, Mr. Hal Brown, who introduced me in boxing, he was a sparring partner and trained with Floyd Patterson, Bobby Forster back in the day. So he was there, so that inspired me to go, and that's when I started with the Newark PAL, and when I met you and the guys like you, like I said, Rodney, you guys really inspired me, man. Seeing what you guys were doing in boxing at an early age, man, it really inspired me. You know, I said hopefully I would love for my kids to be like them, man, you know.
Well, it was amazing, man, because, you know, having guys like you that keep us right, keep us off the street. Then to see you still doing it, man, after all those times, you know. And then not only you got the world champion, you got it's your blood work. So your blood, your grandfather. Man. You know, that must be a good blessing, good thing right there.
Yeah, I've been blessed.
How did when you had Shakur, when you started training Shakur after all the other fighters, who else did you train prior to him that anybody almost make it to that level?
Yeah, we had the first Shakur, Shakur Jackson. We had him, man. Shakur was a national champ, you know, regional champ. You know, he made it. I had Angel Santos, who made it. He lost to Shawn Estrada in the 2008 Olympic trials. I also had, most recently, I've had, you know, Shakur was 2016 USA Boxer of the Year.
Right.
And I had John Bowser, also 2017 USA Boxer of the Year. I had Rajan Chance and the Manu brothers, 11-time national champs, all out of the system. Malik Nelson, the one change here, who I trained him here.
Yeah.
He won his nationals with me in the system, so, you know, we had a lot of kids come through there that, you know, benefited from what we were doing at the time.
You touched a lot of lives, man, and helped a lot of people. That must be a good blessing on the inside. You know. So what it's like though, as you know, your own blood though, your grandson being like, you know, you on TV, you the head trainer, you in the corner, you know, you travel. How's that, man? Describe some of the satisfaction and the love that gets from you, man.
The love, you know, a lot of people may say it's crazy, but, you know, the big difference in Shakur and a lot of the other kids that came up, when Shakur came up in the house, you know, so he was around me 24/7. So, you know, when it come to him, you know, there's a difference, you know, with every other fighter getting to me. Every other fighter, you know, I can go in there just like it's a day's work. But when Shakur fights, you know, especially when we preparing for a big fight, you know, like the first time we fought, I think it was 2013 in Ukraine, you know, and we made it all the way to the championship, and, you know, we were fighting against the world champion at the time, and he just so happened he was from Ukraine, and Shakur was, pop, let's go. He running out to the can't wait to get out there. And you know me, talking about how I feel, I'm like this here. I'm like a bag of pins and needles, you know what I mean? It's nothing to him, you know, the hostility, the fans, Ukraine. Anytime you say USA, boo, boo, boo. You know, people, you'll find out that, you know, what was really strange to me, when we do fight internationally, particularly the Olympics, you know, you say USA, you know, people will say boo, boo. But if you say the athlete's name, but, you know, that went along with the chat. But it felt to me like every time, you know, I go in there, that same feeling, you know, that I had from the very first fight, you know, sometimes it feels like I'm in there fighting, you know what I mean? And, you know, the butterflies and everything, you know what I mean? So emotionally, I don't let that affect me, you know what I mean? Because I always knew I have to be strong for him, you know? Because the first thing I tell him before we enter the ring, he's like, listen, man, it's time to be great, man. You
time to be great. I like that.
And, you know, pop up and you go and do it. So each fight, I think I have that same emotion that I did initially from that time on, because I think we had the experience of winning through all our, you know, through the amateurs, you know, so winning wasn't a thing, you know, that we weren't used to, you know. The big fight atmosphere, hype, when you in a world tournament, when you got over 60, 70 countries, you know what I'm saying, competing all for one, you know, each division for one thing, you know. That thing, you know, was really, I think, what prepared me for now. And I say, you know, I think I say stable, emotionally stable through everything now. It's not then. It's like it's another day at the office now.
Yeah. But what I really like about what you're doing is because even though you're on that level, you come right back to the gym, you open up a new gym in Newark. So now you got more help all the other kids. And I see you every day when we come over to Newark. I see you in there still passing on to other kids, man. So it's not like you're only doing it for your children. children or your grandchildren, but now here you is with other kids in the neighborhood that you're trying to give them a way out. Man, that's an awesome
Well,
feeling.
that's the whole thing, It's about throwing that ladder back. Like I said before, if we don't do, nobody will do. So, it's going to be an ever-going battle, I don't want to be one of the ones who make it and then leave and just forget about everybody where we are or where we was, It's, anybody that was ever involved with boxing, if they still want to be involved with boxing, I like to be that avenue for them to get where they go, because actually it's not about what you know in boxing, it's about who you know. I mean, you could take a kid that's just like Shakur, and good as Shakur, but if he don't meet the right people and have the right opportunities, he'll never get recognized. He'll get lost in the sauce. So,
Well, when we deal with, I'm sorry for cutting you off, when we deal with the parents in the childhood, it's always been a concern with fathers and sons, even just they don't really last. If you look at the Shane Mosley, Roy Jones Jr., I guess Danny Garcia is the one that's working it, but a lot of the fathers that's trained the young fighters, it usually turns into something else. Even Floyd Mayweather, but the father can't be there. So what is the secret? How you get along so good with your grandson?
I think, I grew up more in a technical world now as I got older. When I came out of high school, was in the streets, and I always had a vision of what I wanted to do, but I went to technical school. I went to Tooling Machine Institute of America, one of the most prestigious machining institutes in school. So I learned at an early then that, every 5 years, technology and every standard in life evolves. You know what I'm saying? So I found out early that training was just the same thing. So what I did through that is, kept evolving to keep up with the times, with the athletes, what's going on. Then I, realized that, at an early age that, as a trainer and a coach and a mentor, that this thing is never about me, so it's always about the athlete. So what you had to do with each athlete and everything is create some type of balance in their life at home and what they wanted to obtain and what their aspirations were. Because we never know if it's going to be boxing. You can hope God would be boxing, and you give them that work ethic and hope it, rolls over to every aspect of their life. And then, lo and behold, through that vision, he's saying about life and what I'm going to grow up and be, what I'm going to become. And you hope they come a realization that they want to be a boxer. And, I want to have the opportunity and all the pressure on myself and me to become who I want to be and what I become. So creating that balance in life and being balanced along with opportunities and desire, hard work and dedication, you come out with a well-balanced person that can actually have the will and desire to fight against and make better decisions to really govern his life better than he would without that. You dig what I'm saying?
Any disagreements? You ever have to pull weight? You have to even have on your grandson, he's a big celebrity star now, and your grandpa got to wait a minute. That ever happen?
Yeah, there's always, I've always tried to keep Shakur what I saw common, that, it may seem like I'm on you for something that you may disagree with at the time, but it's not about you disagreeing, but it's about you making a better decision for yourself. So once you explain those things to them about is the decision-making aspect, you kind of find out once they get mad about it, get upset, and they have a tendency to think it over, you think they sit down and say that, damn, I'm going to do this here and I'm going to make a better decision for myself. So, as long as you give them the realization and gives them the confidence of being able to make those decisions for themselves, then I think they have a better tendency to guide their life better because they know and learn at an early age that they're going to be responsible for everything that they do. Okay, it's just like in the ring.
Yeah.
We can't teach a kid to be a kid on the street, but we want him to be a man in the ring. So you got to create that balance at an early age, man. We had a bunch of kids come over here on ships, right? And them kids had to do everything every grown man had to do. okay, whether they wanted to or not, all right? And look what them kids became. They became us now, okay? So that same inspiration, we got to push over them, man.
Right,
You a
right.
kid in mind, you a kid in body right now, but you a man in nature.
We
You
gotta
understand?
train them.
So you start teaching that man here at an early age. Teach him how the responsibility of making those decisions are going to determine the outcome of his life and his destiny.
I think that might be the key to why there is issues between father and sons that train, because you're trying to be dad and coach, and they don't mix a lot.
Right.
But having that, that philosophy you saying, as far as I'm trying to teach you to be a better man.
Right.
You know?
Well, you see, I use this here, when I have a lot of parents that come in. I said, listen, if your son was taking rocket science, right? Okay. Would you come in here and try to teach him rocket science? You don't know shit about, excuse my friend, you don't know anything about flying a plane or rocket or anything like that. Then you best you can't do the math, okay? Yeah. So you don't know anything, so don't do that in here. This is our responsibility. What I need you to do is work in conjunction with me here in the gym and him at home. Okay, because what we want to do is create that well-balanced person, so to make sure if he wants to be an athlete, he's taking care of everything that he has to at home and school and everywhere else, so he will have time to become that athlete.
To be that athlete.
And not neglect everything else.
And who's ever working with you, with Shakur, is doing a wonderful job. I've seen his maturity. I've seen the way he speak, and the way he talk now is more ever man.
Right. And
from being so young where he is now, I think he's going to be, right now, he's the only one that I see superseding the Floyd Mayweather. Everybody say he's like the next Floyd. I think he's going to go past that.
Right.
I don't see anybody being able to beat him for years.
His expectations for himself are very high. And, all credit to due to Floyd Mayweather. I love him. But, Shakur, as I happen to say, he don't want to be judged in comparison with Floyd Mayweather or like Floyd Mayweather. He just want to be known as Shakur Stevenson and judge him for who he is and what he do. Because, if we're looking at what he's done already, now, he's the only American male boxer to ever win the IBA Boxer of the Year, okay? He's a two-time, now I think this kid Mark Castro just won 2 world championships, okay? So he's another that won 2 world championships. But he, myself, and we're the only ones that ever won a world team championship when we had 3 fighters win. I trained Jairo Gonzalez, Shakur, and Damani Rock for that world championship. Right. That's the first ever world team title that the USA Boxing has ever attained. Okay. So, we got that. So every way, and everything he's doing now, he's making history. And believe it or not, that a lot of those things Floyd Mayweather never done. You know what I mean? Yeah. He went, totally undefeated, 18-0, because, I was team manager from 2011 to 2015. Right. And by the end of 2015, Shakur and our team, who really the ones that trained the 2016 team, by the end of that time, Shakur had won everything already and was a virtual lock-in for the Olympics. So, he's making history.
He's like he's like well above his time.
Yeah.
My concern would be like everybody was talking about him being so young and getting all the fame and all the money and everything at his age that he might get pulled into the wrong direction. But talking to you today, seeing the guidance that he has behind him, I feel real confident he's gonna be all right.
Well, I always use the term, I hate to say it, but Shakur was never a street cat. He was a house cat.
A house cat?
Yeah, with a little bit of etiquette. He may have been rough around the edges coming up, but as he got older, he got groomed. Yeah. And you see now when he go out in the street, he look like that house cat, not that, that
boxing
cat.
That boxing to make you humble and get you to once you get focused,
that's one
what
thing,
you want.
And he's been humble all his life, been humble, merciful. You know, he's been a blessing to him and the people around him. You know, I'll give him credit for that. You know,
everybody is discussing who's the pound for pound guy now. You know, now Canelo got beat, right, and now we got the Cello brothers. He united the titles, and now we got a bunch of other cats. That's you know, we got. I'm sorry, what are we talking about? Spence and Crawford, and we got you know, guys trying to be the best, and they kind of overlooking this little young guy, like little young guy, Stevens. I think he's up there with him as far as I'm concerned. I think he's on their level.
Well, you know, you'd be surprised actually, and 135, 154, 140 up. You know, who got the names out there that Shakur has already boxed and went to their gym and beat them up, you know. So I don't, like I said, I don't mention the name, but you'll hear down the future, you see, as he evolve and move up in weight classes. Yeah. You know, you'll see he done already been a lot of people way this time. Even Lomachenko, a lot of people are like Devin. Now, out of the group, you know, between Ryan, Tank, Devin and all them, now, Ryan mother somehow got my number, called me, and I taught Ryan Garcia his jab. You know, that jab now he got from me. He used to shoulder it up. But anyway, Devin spent like 3 years with me. A lot of people don't know that. Devin was the youngest one on the team. Devin been to 2 world tournaments, so Devin has international experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, he's a good fighter.
And he got it at an early age, you know, so his maturation is truly deserved, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't look at him and think that, but he worked hard. And prior to him spending time with me on the new Team USA, Devin used to come up here at age 12, 13, and box Shakur in Newark all the time. So, you know, they had to go on to it. So been there, done that. Tank and Calvin, you know, we traveled together as well. And we were young. Tank, you see a lot of pictures with Tank and Shakur when they were younger. And, you know, we have good friends. He's been around. Not to say
who do you think is out
Calvin
there?
Is my man, but I'm still undefeated against Calvin, too. What do
you think about the Crawford Spence thing? Everybody got talking about that, got their experiences. What do you think about Tank? Tank got a big one coming up at the Barclays.
Yeah, Tank has a big fight coming up, and, you know, I really think, you know, Tank is the better fighter. I know Tank is the better fighter, you know what I'm saying? You know, with this fight, it's going to be who's the smarter fighter, you know? And if Tank is just smart, he should make the fight easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What about the Spence Crawford? What do you think about it?
Spence Crawford, you know, you might say I'm biased, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Terrence is our boy, you know. We do a lot of stuff together, so, you know, I like, you know, Terrence will, man. Terrence has a will like no other will, man. You know, because, you know, he one of them guys, you're going to have to kill him before you know what I'm saying? He like Mike Tyson, make his chest bite you like head you like this here before he lose, man. It's going to be a rough, dirty fight, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I know one thing for sure, if he hits Spence, you know, he gonna come out.
He got the power. He got the power.
Yeah, and he got the will.
Spence looked pretty good his last fight. You know, he did the Cuban guy, made it look easy. Like
except for when he got hit, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing, man. He got hit. You know, and you know, like Terrence told him, man, if I hit you and you get them shaky legs like that, it's done. You know, and you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. Everybody want to see it. Is it ever gonna happen?
I don't know, man. You see, I don't know, man. To me, it's the promoters, man. Andre Ward said it best, man. They don't want to, they afraid to lose, take risks, man. Like, you know, they feel like your career is over. You know, you lose one fight, they ready to discard you. So, you know, it's just like I've seen contracts, right? I don't care whether you're a great international fighter or a great fighter here, man. In your contract, you lose one bout. we have the right to release you.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
so,
right.
you know.
Nobody wants to lose, right?
And
you know, I'm thinking about something you said today, and it's really, I'm glad you said it, and it's helping me because it's about that evolution thing.
Right.
You know, everything evolves, and the way trainers are training now, the way the fight game is going now, like it's evolved into something different than when I fought or someone else fought. I saw a video this morning about, I don't know who the fighter was, but he was talking to Mike Tyson, and he was like, it's different now, Mike. It's not like when you was coming up.
Right.
And so it evolves all the time. In terms of what the fight game is like. Even training. The trainers now, the fighters now, they train differently.
Well, let me just tell you how dated some shit has been. You see, now everybody know that carbohydrates and electrolytes are the main source of energy and performance, right? Years ago, everybody thought it was protein. To today, a lot of people still think protein is one of the biggest sources of energy. When it stagnates the body more than anything, you know. So, you know, with just like that, with the techniques you see,
information changes.
Right. Like even like Floyd Mayweather showed you a lot of time back in the day, where you know you don't have to stand, you could just pull on a punch or roll with a punch or whatever, you know, make it look like not here, take impact off it and counter punch, you know, like techniques like those and stuff evolve rather than a day like the Mexican style standing up there banging it out.
It's a different way to train the fighters. You got to do some research. I watched you yesterday working with a heavyweight guy. You know, no, not a heavyweight. I learned something yesterday from
the new
you.
Weight class.
The new weight class, bridge weight, right?
Yeah, that's
a new weight class.
He's a former world heavyweight champion, Hassan Rahman. That's Hassan Rahman.
Hassan Rahman. Okay.
Yeah,
So he looked pretty good. He fought. I watched you work with him yesterday. Teach some new stuff, and I was able to learn. Okay, some new stuff to work with, new ways of doing things. That evolution is good. Sometimes I get stuck up in the past, thinking that
it's still saying, yo,
keep doing the way I used to do it, the way we used to do it. But it's a different.
You got to keep up with time. You got to keep up with time, because as you'll find out, man. It's just like styles, you know, you go through Philly, you go through Ohio, you know, you go through Connecticut, you go through New York, and you'll find out all of them do different things, but you'll find out collectively, every area, a lot of them do a lot of the same things. You know what I'm saying? So when you get out there and you find out outside of your realm of reality, you find out that there's a whole lot more shit out there. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh shit! Look at this here. Look what they doing. Yeah, and then what you do as a coach, you start picking up. You learn.
Picking up new stuff. Yeah.
You learn. You got to learn because you want to keep up with time. Look at that shit.
And I think that's where some of the fathers, we talk about the father trainers, sons, they get it. Instead of saying, okay, I'll take the back seat and learn. Then they're like, no, I'm the trainer, I'm the head, I'm the father, and then and the next thing you know, there's a fight between
for example, you'll see some athletes, right, or go or train every day, same way. What we'll call that at a high impact level, okay? And you train every day at that high impact level and the body gets no recovery, it's just like a joint, like a nut in a boat. The more that boat runs, it starts to wear out because it don't get no rest. And don't never get that oil, get oil down, don't stop, But the more rest that joint get, right? And the more lubrication you put on it, the longer it's gonna last. It's just like your body. So when your body is running, especially at a high impact level, it has to recover. So it can go out there the next day and run just the same way. So, you know, that's why a lot of people now, you see them do what you call high impact training and low impact training to make sure the body don't get overworked. You know what I'm saying?
Some good advice. That's some good advice.
Once, you know, they gather the aspect, you know, that, you know, the training has to be conducive to the performance inside the ring for the amount of time it's inside the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Good information.
So once they start doing that, you know, and realize their body start to adjust to the way it's supposed to perform and like it needs to perform for the task at hand.
Well, that's some good information that we all definitely that some people can learn, because I can see now people believe, you know, you watch the Rocky movies or you watch fighting movies, you think the harder you work, the more you win. But you're introducing that we need some rest sometimes. That rest is important.
So many fighters are overworked, man. You know, a few camps, I would say, you know, I don't want to disclose it, but they work hard than a motherfucker, but they work too hard.
Right.
The body never gets so recovered. So now when they fight, the body crash. They looking for it to go at the high impact level, but they've been running at a high impact level for 6 to 8 weeks already and never recovered. Mm-hmm. So when it's go out there, time for them to go out to perform, 2, 3 rounds, and they gone. They left all that shit in training camp.
That might have been the Wilder and Fury thing, then, nobody can explain it. What do you think about Fury, man?
Yeah, well, you know, that's one thing that really showed, because people don't realize how nutrition and, you know, rest, recovery, are the 2 biggest aspects of performance, man. And without those, particularly eating right, and drinking the right amount of water through training, man. If you don't put the water in your body, man, water is the lubricant, it's the coolant, and it keeps everything going. Without it, man, your body can't perform.
A lot of trainers can learn from this information. We got a world-class trainer here with us. He's paid his dues to the world. He's still continue giving back to Newark, straight out of Newark, New Jersey. Wali Muhammad. Did I say that right, Mr. Wali Muhammad?
Musa.
Wali
Moses.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you, man. Anytime, man.
I appreciate your work you're doing in Newark with the kids, bro. I look up to you. I always did. I thank you a lot for the information you gave me. You gave the world. This is At the Bell with Derek Poppy Roland. My man Wali Muhammad with me right now. Musa. Mr. Wali from Newark, New Jersey. Let's get a round of applause.
Where at?
Like At the Bell, Derek Poppy Roland. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Thank you. Yes, just to let you know, great being here at the Bell with Derek Poppy Roland. See you next time.